Welcome back to the channel. We are heading out to grab some coffee today. We are heading to Schofield Cafe. Now, if you're an extreme history buff of late 1800s architecture,
I'm an architect.
You know Levi Schofield is the famed Cleveland architect that designed the Ohio State Reformatory. That is right. We are heading down to the Ohio State Reformatory to grab some coffee. And because I'm a history buff, and now when I say history buff, it means I read exactly 2 minutes of information on the internet a few days ago and proclaimed I'm a history buff, I will now spout out all the information I know about the Ohio State Reformatory. It really is a cool place. It was built in the late 1800s. It opened in 1890 and it served as just that, a reformatory. It's where young men and women who committed a crime would go if they were a little too old for juvie, but not quite severe enough to go to a maximum security prison.
Too crazy for Boys Town. Too much of a boy for Crazy Town.
They were usually sentenced to 18 months there where they would be rehabilitated, they would learn a trade or a skill, and then if everything went well after 18 months they would be released back into society. And apparently it was a great success. State funded, it was a great success. Recidivism, whatever that word is, you know, when they don't go back to prison after they're out, was very low. And so it was a really big success. But like most things, when a government program is working, the government steps in and said, that's enough. We are taking back the funding for this and turning this into a maximum security prison. So in the 1960s, the state of Ohio decided to do just that. They turned it into a maximum security prison, and to the surprise of no one, it was a complete disaster. It lasted for 20 years, and the buildings and facilities got so rough for the inmates. The inmates actually sued the state of Ohio and won. And so the state of Ohio built them a brand new facility right next door. And then the building sat empty for about a decade. And then sometime in the 90s, an activist group bought the building, bought the entire facility for a singular dollar from the state of Ohio. And ever since then, they have been rehabilitating the site. And you know, they host all kinds of cool events there. They have like tours of the jail cells and the entire grounds actually. And it's huge for paranormal activity, so a lot of ghost hunters go there. And I'm sure you're going to recognize the building, and you'll probably be like, hey, that looks familiar. Was my uncle there? Your uncle was not there. Well, maybe your uncle was there. I don't really know your uncle, but you'll probably recognize it from the motion picture Shawshank Redemption, which was filmed there. So I thought it'd be a cool ride to head down and grab some coffee there and check out the place. Whoa. Wow. That is wild. Careful, loose gravel. Careful on the bike. That's the real one. That's the old one. Wow. This is nuts. The Shawshank Trail. Holy moly. Oh, this is definitely haunted. Unbelievable.
It's
Lord, that was freaking awesome. That place is so impressive. Being built in the 1800s. Beautiful. Attaboy, Levi Schofield. That's a great design, man. Great design. Shout out to the Schofields, whoever you are. And the coffee wasn't half bad either. I didn't do any of the tours or anything when I was down there because, you know, I was just there to grab a coffee, but I'm definitely going to go back someday and tour the jail cell and probably scope out where they filmed the movie. Super, super, super cool. So until next time, as always, my beautiful friends, peace and love.